Podcast hosting provided by Transistor. If you want to host your own show, head over to transistor.fm and start a 14-day free trial.
Hello and welcome to Regen, the e-racing podcast. I'm your host Dino, and once again, Chris is with me this morning.
Hello Dino, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. I've just come back from holiday, so I am refreshed and ready to get back on top of things. So yeah, very happy.
Very good. Where did you go?
Went to Rarotonga. So I've been on the beach, as they say, but literally. So it was really good. Did some snorkeling, which I've never done before, and a lagoon cruise, and
fantastic.
It was really, really cool.
That sounds really nice, actually. Yeah.
Fully recommend that place.
That sounds lovely. Yeah.
Yes. So Wi-Fi was pretty limited, but I'm back into the world of social media and back into watching Formula E stuff and Moto E stuff and catching up on all of the news. So I guess we should get right into it. Chris, do you have a media of the week for us?
So my media of the week is a book, which is a bit different from me. So I've been reading a book called 11/22/63 for the past couple of weeks since the Formula E finished. And it's not a recent release. It was released in around about 2011, I want to say, 2012. But it's about a guy called Jake Epping. It's a Stephen King book, first off. And it's about a guy called Jake Epping who can travel back in time to 1958. And he tries to prevent the assassination of John F. Kennedy.
Ooh.
And it's really, really cool. So there's like this time portal in the town that he lives in. And if he goes through the time portal, every time he is taken back to a certain time and a certain day in 1958. And regardless of how long he spends in there, the next time he goes back through the time portal, only 2 minutes will have passed in, like, present day. So he could be in the time portal for, I don't know, 2 years and come back, and it would have only been 2 minutes. So it's really good. It's really, really good. It's worth a read. I'm about halfway through, and I can't put it down. It's fantastic. Really good.
Okay, we'll have to put that in the show notes. That sounds really interesting, actually. Really interesting.
It's so good. I mean, I'm not usually a big reader. It's very rare that I pick up a book and completely steamroll the way through it. The last time I did that was like Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. And, I've been addicted to it. I can't put it down. Instead of watching TV, I've been reading this book. Every time I go to bed, I'm reading this book. It's like, great. Love it.
I'm very sorry that you're on the podcast instead of reading the book.
It's fine. I need a break.
Good. We'll put that in the show notes.
Your media of the week.
My media of the week is Succession, and it's got a lot more sort of buzz about it at the moment for season 2. But it is a family that owns a international media conglomerate, and the aging patriarch Logan Roy is contemplating what the future holds. And he's been sort of running the show for a bit longer than he would like, and probably a lot longer than his family would like. So it's sort of about the succession plan of his oldest son, and the different ways that they sort of play off against each other, the kids, and the sort of loyalties between one another, and they try and get one up on each other, and it's got Kieran Culkin, Macaulay's brother. He's interesting. Recommend it.
Yeah, that sounds quite interesting. I think I've seen it advertised. I've definitely heard of it, but I haven't watched it before.
Yeah.
I'd add that to my media list after the book.
After the book.
After the book.
Yes. Now, I've been catching up on the news, and there is plenty to talk about. Firstly, Roborace had their season alpha finale, which is the two teams, the Technical University of Munich, TUM, and they battled it out against Team Arrival, which do sort of electric smart vans. Team Arrival had problems in qualifying, but eventually coming out on top and winning by a pretty healthy margin, it has to be said. Did you get to watch this one?
I watched about the first 10 seconds of the YouTube video, so no, not really.
No. Okay, well, yeah, that's fine. Interesting. It was at the Monte Blanco circuit, and it's interesting because with these cars, they have to be close enough and there has to be an overtake on the straight. So there's no overtaking in the corners, and it's just about how fast, I guess, once the cars have overtaken, can they catch up and do the overtake and allow that, or is it too far ahead? So I guess it's just about interval times, really.
That sounds interesting, yeah. It's nice to see the whole Roborace coming off the ground, though, because it's been going for... I think the first dev bot went round a Formula E track in Season 4, was it? I'm not sure. It might be earlier than that. It might be in late Season 3, Season 4. So it's really nice to see them, kick it into action and get it going. So, exciting.
Yeah, hopefully there'll be more teams starting up for next season.
Yeah,
but, yeah, I think it's one to watch. I think it did a circuit of Goodwood, the 2.0.
Yeah, I saw the Goodwood run. It's I think we'll see a few more teams join for the next season, though. Instead of racing teams, I would imagine we'll see probably a few technology firms perhaps get involved.
I'd like to see Tesla get on it, because that's a tech company that makes cars. So
I think Tesla would be great in that, because I mean, what's he called? The guy who is in charge of Tesla,
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. I mean, he's a pretty wild person, isn't he? And he's a visionary. And I think autonomous cars are probably on his horizon. In all honesty, I would be queuing up to get involved with that. I'd be wanting to put my finger in the pie and.
I would too.
Enjoy it, really, yeah.
I'd be looking at that and going, we need to be in this. So, yeah, I'm sure Elon listens to our podcast.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. So if you are, when you do listen to this, Elon, get your act together and enter Roborace.
Yeah, I think I would actually die if he tweeted me.
Yeah, that would be a heart attack right there.
Yeah.
But, oh my god.
Yeah, I think I'd be on the phone to everyone I know. And the likelihood of that happening is very slim, so we'll move right along.
Yeah.
Brendan Hartley joining Geox Dragon. Now, I'm actually pretty torn here because it's Dragon. Mm-hmm. And I want to talk about who his teammate could be. But Brendan said, and this is from an interview, I'm happy to be taking on a new challenge in Formula E together with Geox Dragon. Formula E is totally different from any other race series I've been in, but I am hoping my experience in many categories with energy management will pay dividends and give me a head start as a rookie. I've already started working with most of the Geox Dragon team, and I have a strong feeling that we can share some good success together in the coming season. Now, didn't you write this, Chris?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, this one is from Motorsport Monday, or Motorsport Week.
Yeah, I wrote this one then.
Yes, very good. Okay. Your thoughts on it, first up?
I think it's funny that he calls it a new challenge, because it will be. Because I'm quite torn as well that he's joined Dragon, because he's been testing with Porsche throughout. He's been one of their main test drivers alongside Neil Shani. And he's racked up thousands upon thousands of kilometres in the Porsche Model 1 car, whatever you want to call it. And Brendan Hartley's a top driver. He raced in Formula 1 in 2018, obviously. He's a two-time World Endurance Champion. He's done everything. He's a very talented guy. And of all the teams he could have signed with, Dragon. I just feel that he could have possibly gone for something more. I think he could have easily signed with a bigger team. I mean, if I was a larger team, I would certainly consider signing him up over most drivers at least.
Wow, that's pretty high praise.
Yeah, and I think Brendan Hartley's a great driver. And he's gone with Dragon, really. And I mean, I like Dragon. They haven't been great over recent seasons. Season 5 was a total mess for them, in all honesty. And if I was a racing driver, I would want to completely avoid that. I mean, Jose Maria Lopez is a talented driver, and Dragon made him look bad. That's my thoughts on it. It's not great, is it? It's a bit doom and gloom. But
it is. It
yeah,
really is.
Think?
I was hoping that it would be somewhere like Mahindra or Mercedes, or just somewhere that, yeah, like you say, Dragon sort of consistency. They messed both of the drivers around, I'm sure. Gunther didn't know whether he was in the seat the next race. Mm-hmm. It just was, they need to sort their driver situation out. And Felipe Nasr, is he still in the frame or not? And I just don't want to see Hartley go in there, have a couple of bad races at the start, and then get chucked out, you know?
Yeah, get replaced with someone who's got a bit of money. Because the thing is, he deserves more than that, and he doesn't deserve to be messed about. And I think with Dragon, you don't really know if you can get messed about or not. So.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine, and I'm sure he'll be there for the season.
Yeah.
Now, looking upon who his teammate could be, do you think that Gunther will be back?
I don't think he'll be back with Dragon.
Okay.
No. I think if I was Max Gunther, I would definitely be looking towards joining a bigger team. Because Max Gunther in Season 5 was probably, I'm going to say, the top rookie of the year. He missed the 3 rounds, fair enough, but he still managed to completely outclass Lopez. And that shows his talent as a young driver. If I was a bigger team like Mahindra or BMW or Jaguar even, I would definitely look at Maxi Gunther to progress and move forward. And I think Gunther should, realistically, should hold himself very highly and go, look, I am worth more. I will push for something higher. And I hope that's what he's going to do.
Well, that perfectly segues into what we're going to talk about now, that Gunther has been testing with BMW.
He has, yes.
But the BMW stable is quite full. Beitske Visser, Ericsson, there's... Who else have we got? I mean...
Tom Blomqvist is still a BMW back driver.
Right, yes. He's been sniffing around as well. And of course, Sims wants to retain the seat as well.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got his work cut out for him.
Yeah, it's going to be a competitive seat to get hold of at BMW. But Gunther could be a very good fit. I'm sure BMW would love a German driver in that car. Yeah, I'd quite like to see that.
Okay, since we're still on BMW, we're going to just scroll down the show notes a little bit. Antonio Felix da Costa and BMW have split, and I think this is part of the reason why Maxi Gunther has been testing. And is there a DS to Cheetah deal coming very shortly for da Costa, do you think?
I think it looks like it. I think he is the man to replace Andre Lotterer, in all honesty. And I hope that's the case, because I would love to see Antonio Felix da Costa drive a consistently competitive car, as opposed to a fairly competitive car at some races. I think he could... Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he could do with a DS to Cheetah, definitely, and I think he'd be a very good fit for the team as well. He's experienced, and it would give DS to Cheetah one of the most experienced driver lineups on the grid, actually. Probably second to Audi as well.
Yeah, obviously Degrassi and Abt been there from the start, so...
Yeah, they've done every single Formula E race together. So.
That's, I mean, there's experience right there.
They're probably sick of each other. Oh, he's still here. Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, it almost looked like it wasn't going to be the same lineup for next season, but yeah.
Daniel Abt is a very lucky boy.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's I think it was on the verge, in all honesty, so I'm glad he's got the seat, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's picked up quite a few points. I mean, if he, I guess he had the right amount of points to just tip it over the edge. But yeah, I guess there was quite a few people in for his seat.
Yeah. It's, he is captain consistency, so you can't really complain about that, can you? He is there to pick up the pieces. So.
We'll move back up the show notes to Neo. The Formula E team has been bought by Shanghai-based Li Sheng Racing Co. Limited. And this company also owns the rights for TCR China and a distributor for karts, as well as owning the China Karting Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Neo, they obviously did not do great, putting it nicely last season.
It was their worst season on record, I believe.
Yeah. So a new look team, apparently. Neo is going to retain some investment, but yeah, a new look. Be interesting to see if their driver lineup stays the same.
Yeah, I hope it does. They've got two gems in the form of Oliver Turvey and Tom Dillman. Turvey's been with the team. He's always been with the team in Formula E. I think he joined them for the London E-Prix at the end of season 1 and then has remained since. But the last time I spoke to Turvey, I think he seemed fairly set on remaining with the team for this season. And I think both Dillman and Turvey have tested the Season 6 car, which will be the Neo Sport 5, if it maintains the Sport name system. They just need a bit... I don't know. They're in such a bad place at the moment, Neo. And it would be so hard to maintain the motivation, especially after what they experienced in the first season of Gen 2, because they were so far off the pace. And before the season even started, they knew that they were going to struggle. And then when they got to Adiria, they just realised, okay, we are very far off the pace. And they just need some kind of hope, some kind of upheaval, really. And it'll be so hard to move on from that, because once you find that you've had a bad season in motorsport, it can be so difficult to turn that around. I mean, look at Williams in Formula 1. They had a fairly decent 2017 campaign. They got a podium at Azerbaijan. In 2018, they went the wrong direction with the car, and they've tried to correct that for this year, and the car's worse. You know, it's such a hard hole to get out of once you do get in there. But we'll see what they can do, really. You know, I hope they can do something, because I don't like Neo sitting at the back of the grid.
No, you want everyone competitive.
Yeah, it would be nice to see everyone competitive. I don't want to see Neo as the duck of Formula E, quacking away at the back.
Yeah, so the operational and technical management will be done by Spanish QEV Technologies, which also has a long-standing association with Campos Racing. Yeah. Now, will we see, I guess, Jerry Hughes stay? That's the other question.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. I like Jerry Hughes. He's very forward-thinking and very motivated. And what I like is Jerry Hughes' work ethic is very similar to Oliver Turvey and Tom Dillman. And I think that's the perfect blend. So the three of them have a very similar work ethic, and I think Jerry Hughes is the kind of man who would appreciate Turvey and Dillman working in a similar way to him. With Nelson Piquet, you would never have gotten that at all.
Yeah, we're not going to dig that up yet.
Yeah, but I hope Jerry Hughes stays, because he's a very motivated man, he's a very clever man, and I think if there's anyone who could turn Neo around, I think it's him, and he's got such a strong vision for the team, and you can't get rid of that. Jerry Hughes is great, and he's a very switched on bloke.
That's good to hear. I'm sure they can turn it around. Right, anything else on your side of things before we get into the Moto E?
I don't think so.
You haven't heard any scratchings from the paddock or the silly season?
Formula E is thinking about lengthening its races.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, yeah. Let me get that one up.
Yeah. So the race is at the moment 45 minutes plus a lap. Obviously, any safety car, or, 2 safety cars, which is sort of the norm in most races for Season 5, and then they can just put the power down as much as they like for the rest of the race. This obviously looking to stop that.
Yeah, so obviously with Season 6, we also see the 1 kilowatt power reduction during safety car and the yellow, and full course yellow conditions as well. So there's going to be a lot of battery management really going forward. And it's interesting because obviously in Season 5 we did see quite a few flat out races. Berlin springs to mind, so it was going well. Then there was the safety car for Alex Lynn, and
that was crushing.
Yeah, so it meant the drivers could slow down behind the safety car, gather energy, and it just turned it into a flat out race. And ultimately, Degrassi dominated it. But with this rule, it'll be good because it keeps everybody on level pegging in terms of energy management, and it means that there will be energy management no matter what. Going forward, the issue lies in how long the safety car period is and when it comes out. So let's say you're racing and there's 10 minutes left of racing. The safety car stays there for 10 minutes, but you've got 9 kilowatts of energy left. Got a problem.
Yes, that will catch out a few people, maybe. I think it's a good move, but we'll see how it's implemented. I mean, I had no idea how attack mode would be implemented in before the season. So, yeah, it could be a real winner.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing. We didn't know how anything was going to be applied for Generation 2 until Ardiria, and it worked a treat, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah, so, I mean, Formula E is considering adding more laps to its races and trying to lengthen that. But it's very much a maybe, maybe not, who knows, we'll toss a coin and see. So, far from decided.
Okay, we'll move along to the Moto E at the Red Bull Ring in Austria, and we'll look at Super Pole, or Moto E Pole, with Mike D'Amiglio on top, and a 1:35.182, Xavier Simeon, Bradley Smith, Jesco Raffin, Nicky Tully, Hector Garzo, Matteo Ferrari, Alex DeAngelis, Eric Granado, and Maria Herrera, making up the top 10. Great qualifying. They stopped them going out too soon, and so there was no one disqualified for entering the track too soon, or leaving it too late.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. Did you manage to watch the qualifying or just the race?
I didn't see the qualifying, but I watched the race and I loved it. It's very good.
It was. So round 2, 1 lap was taken off. So because Austria, the Red Bull Ring, has quite a few elevation changes, they needed to make sure that they could have the full power over the course of the race, and so they cut a lap off the race. So 5 laps due to the rain falling at the Red Bull Ring. And Simeon, who took the lead from second on the grid, D'Amiglio pretty much retaliated immediately through drafting his way past the Belgian on the run into turn 3, and there was a tight, fight for third. Eric Granado, but unfortunately, Nicky Tully, who was the winner last race, ran wide into turn 4 and into a gravel trap, but he managed to get going again. So Eric Granado, unfortunately, having started on 9th on the grid, took second away, but unfortunately went off. And those Moto e-bikes are about 300 kilos.
Yeah,
so
once you go off, you can't pick them up.
Yeah, there's no way that he's getting there. You're not picking that up, boy. Unless you have a build that's not fit to go on a bike. So
big biceps. Yeah, I'll just pick a bike up.
Yeah, you don't use your knee, you use your bicep to get around the corner. Right, so D'Amiglio retook the lead as a result of that, and also we saw Bradley Smith battling his way through the field, which was great. Simeon as well with the leader D'Amiglio, but Hector Garzo unfortunately went out as well, crashing out at turn 4, and D'Amiglio took the win. I really, really liked this race.
Yeah,
I really liked this race. I loved it. It had everything. I just wish it was longer.
Exactly. It's so fast, and I think the beauty is because it's such a short race, it is non-stop action because people are just trying to get themselves forward, and there is really no there'll be some conservation, but it's we have to get this done as fast as possible kind of attitude, and it was a solid race. I really felt for Hector Garzo, your man Hector, with the great name.
Yeah, he has a great name
because he did such a good job. I think he was the fastest rider in practice, and I believe he started from 8th or 9th on the grid. Yeah, 6th, close enough. He started from 6th on the grid and he fought his way all the way up to the field, and he was so quick. He was in P2 and crashed on the final lap, and he was doing such a good job. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not having the best of time at the moment. And that's the thing, like his teammate Kenny Foray started in 15th. A few of them in qualifying actually went off the track, and so were penalised. Randy DePunier, Nicholas Tirol, and Matteo Cassidy. So yeah, they couldn't set a time. Right. So finishing positions: D'Amiglio, Simeon, Smith, DeAngelis, Ferrari, Sete Gibernau, the 46-year-old, in 6th. Josh Hook, Jessica Raffin, Canepa and Salvadori, rounding out the top 10. Fastest lap was D'Amiglio, as well as the pole, of course. And yeah, if you don't watch this race, it looks as though Mike D'Amiglio's just destroyed. But that wasn't quite the case.
No, it was close. It was nail biting. Actually, I absolutely loved it. I'm going to watch more Moto E because it's the first full race I've seen, actually, and I need more of that in my life.
Yes, definitely. We'll make a convert of you yet. The next race of the Moto E World Cup is in San Marino, the San Marino Grand Prix in Misano.
Oh, yeah. Misano is such a cool circuit.
I hear about it with the cars, but I don't think I've ever seen a race there. How bad is that?
That's sad. Misano's fantastic. I remember the DTM round last year was, I think it was heavy rain. Oh, it was brilliant. Really good.
So, with the DTM, because the W Series is sort of an undercard, as you will, to DTM, did they race at Misano this year? Do you know?
No.
Because then I would have seen it.
I haven't been watching DTM this year, but I've been watching the W Series. They raced there, though.
Okay. Well,
it's when DTM don't race there at all, and I've made a poll of that. Yeah, they have raced at Misano, 8th of June.
Okay, in that case, I have seen it, because I've watched all of the W Series.
What did you think of the W Series finale, just quickly?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. How good was it?
I thought it was fantastic, because Brands Hatch is such a cool circuit as well.
It is. It seems to have everything. It doesn't look very... I mean, it's not a long circuit by any means, but yeah, I think it's really cool. Yeah,
Brands Hatch is such an epic circuit. I mean, you see Brands Hatch, you see photos of it, you hear about it. If you play games, you'll do a race on it. But it isn't until you watch it on TV that you realise how hilly it is. So it's crest after crest, basically, and turn 1 is mental. And the final sector is so fast. And it's a proper circuit. And it was fantastic.
Because it's downhill, isn't it? On the run up to the line. Yeah.
It's so cool. It's such a cool track. Difficult as well, so.
Okay, I think that pretty much wraps up this episode. The next episode, we're going to look at, finally finishing off the iPace E Trophy. So, the New York rounds. And, as the number one fan. I'm sure you're looking forward to that one.
I cannot wait to talk about the Jaguar High Pace E Trophy. Fantastic racing, title decider. Oof, very good, very good.
Yes, so yeah, keep your ears locked on your podcast player of choice. We are on everywhere. We're on Himalaya, Pocket Casts, Overcast, Dogcatcher, everything. So whatever you use, we'll be there. We would like to get some feedback on the show, so give us a review on Podchaser or Apple Podcasts. We want to chat to you. We probably never stop talking about motorsport. Hello at regenracingpodcast.com. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We are all over the internet, and the website regenracingpodcast.com. We have a nice big player on there now. So transistor.fm have updated their player, so you can see the last 5 or 6 episodes that we've done, in case the most recent one doesn't tickle your fancy. Also, epic logo was done by Make Covers on Twitter. If you're looking for a great logo, price, service, look no further. And the intro music, Danelle Armour, featuring Sarah DeWarren Gallery, used with permission from Danelle Armour. Check out his amazing music on all major platforms. And I don't talk about this very often, but we have a Patreon. So Patreon is a service, if you haven't heard of it, that you can subscribe and give us a little bit of money to keep the show running. We pay for everything out of our pockets, including the microphones and the hosting, so please consider that. And with that, thank you for listening. Thank you once again, Chris.
Yeah, thank you for thank you for talking about Formula E to me. No one does.
No one does.
No one does.
Yeah, I think I'm in that boat as well. You know, I'm always saying, hey, do you know what Formula E is? And I get a look of...
It's like a problem, isn't it?
No. What is that?
Yeah, is that the electric Formula 1?
Sort of.
Basically, but no.
Basically, but no. Yep. So if you do one thing for someone, listeners, tell them about Formula E and maybe tell them about our show. All right. Peace.
Yeah. Bye-bye.